Psychology is all around us. Psychological elements can be seen throughout the lifespan, from birth until death. Films are a wonderful tool to explain psychological theory and occurrences in our lives. Characters interact within each frame of film psychological concepts. The films we remember most and view multiple times engage us by capturing the presence of these psychological dynamics in an authentic way. I invite you to join me, Dr. Catherine Marshall Woods, licensed clinical psychologist and film consultant, and my guest today, filmmaker Abdual Sesay, to discuss the best psychology in film. Abdual, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Catherine.
Of course. So you have two films that we will have the pleasure of discussing today. A Good Night's Rest, as well as It Could Be You. Before we get started, actually, we have the opportunity to be able to see a small clip of both of your films. So why don't we allow the audience to see A Good Night's Rest and get a moment with it so then they can understand where we're coming from with our conversation. Abdual, tell me about what inspired you to create A Good Night's Rest.
What inspired me? Okay, so my wife's gonna kill me for this, but one night I was, I was in the bed and I heard her snoring. So what I did was, I was like, you know what? What could I do to make the best out of this moment? So I had a thought in my head. So I really, literally on the side of the bed, just start texting away in my notepad. And I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. Boom, boom. And so then from there, I was like, this is a great concept. And it's something that I think is relatable to couples that have, each other, that spouses that snore and things of that sort. So that's how I really came up with the concept. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to give away a lot about the film because I want, individuals to enjoy it and have their emotions and how they experience it.
Right.
But I have to say, it's funny and scary at the same time.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's the reaction that you wanted people to come about, like, oh, this is hilarious. And at the same time, I have some other feelings about this.
Yes, actually, yeah. So it's a dark comedy, right? So it's supposed to be a bit jolting, but at the same time, really supposed to be humorous. Ultimately, supposed to be humorous. But I just wanted to have that jolting, sequence. Well, actually, it's two of them. The jolting sequences, so people could, just get some entertainment, so people can feel a certain kind of way, so they can have an array of emotions other than just laughter, but also a little fright or tenseness,
Yeah. It's interesting because my students have the, privilege to be able to see this film at the DC or the DMV International Film Festival. And it was one of the selected pieces to be screened. And when they came back and told me about seeing this film in particular, they were so excited. They were indicating oh, wow, this is a beautiful film that illustrates how you can love someone and be murderously hateful at the same time.
Right. Absolutely.
And how fine that line is between love and what a person does who you really love that sometimes they do things you cannot stand or you really despise.
Right, exactly. Yes.
So now I understand why your wife may hate this interview.
Oh yeah. She's gonna kill me for this. I never shared with her.
Now, was this your first film or had you made films before?
Great question. So that was my actual first film that I shot, that I wrote. But I've been on productions. I've been on set numerous times, but this was just my first project that I wrote and directed.
Wow, what was that like for you?
It was a great experience. A bit nerve-wracking in the beginning because it's a bunch of like time management that has to be set in place. So, you have to. So my partner and I, he's Darren C. Murray. He helped me. He was a DP on this particular project, and he helped me set it up. But we were very fortunate to have a location where the location manager actually is at his home. But he was great. His name is Eric Cotton. He was very malleable and flexible with his time and letting us use his space. And so just putting that all together. Plus, I had other crew members that helped as well. But it's nerve-wracking, but it happened. We got it done. I was excited.
Yeah. Well, you've done it in such an incredible way. I mean, again, it's getting film festival buzz. So apparently it was worth all of this and potentially worth, getting the wife upset a little bit. How does she feel about the film?
Oh, she loves it. She loves it. We've got it screened quite a few times, and everybody they love the reaction, and then, initially, like when I attend the Q&As after they screen it, people they would ask, they were like, so what's your inspiration? And I'm like, just a thought I had and everything. Cause my wife she doesn't want me to say it's her, but now it's time to let the cat out the bag.
Well, I'm happy we have the honor of being able to hear what the cat is coming out of the bag.
For sure.
So there's a twist at the end of the film.
Yes.
A little bit here. And I'm wondering, is that something you desire to do at the end of your films, which is to create a twist?
Yeah. So I'm really big on that. I'm really big on having it going this way and then nope, it's going that way. So that's my big thing. I don't want you to be like, all right, I don't want people to think like, all right, this is how it was going to end. I know how it's going to end, because then it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, I've seen this before, been there, done that. So I'd like to throw things that are jolting, something that you wouldn't even suspect, because I believe that you want to grab the viewer's attention and then give them something that they've never seen before, or in a way that they felt they've never seen it before. So that's my main objective with all my films. Just something that's thought provoking and things that you wouldn't be able to you wouldn't think or conjure up in your mind like this was going to happen in the end.
It's almost as if what you're suggesting, that as a filmmaker, your desire is to almost surprise the audience.
Yes.
To offer them a new way of looking at life.
Absolutely. That's correct. Yeah. So my whole thing is, especially with this film, I like to draw from experiences that that are relatable experiences that people, and so once I have that main concept, or whatever the case may be, I like to explore and say, how can we view it through different lenses, opposed to just being like, oh, okay, this is the subject matter, and I've seen this, been there, done that. I wanted to be like, okay, well, how can we take this? Because no concept is original under the sun. No idea is original under the sun. So it's like, how can I change things up where it comes off different, and it just has a different angle and a different vantage point.
Mm-hmm. You said you have been working on sets before. What were you doing?
Okay, so I've been everything from like a PA, a script supervisor, to on the camera, DP. I've helped gaffing. I've done quite a bit, and all those experiences helped me, to put this film together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you were saying that you want to see things from a different lens, it almost sounds like running camera is something that you may have had in your past.
Yes, yes. So we've been in situations where we've had, like, back in the day, we used to use you still could use them, but I have a Red, but we use like DSLRs, and we would shoot like music videos, um and just talking interviews, talking head interviews, things of that sort. So just being behind the camera, it just puts you in a position where you interact with people, give direction, so you can get the best results as possible.
Yeah. So, this film, A Good Night's Rest, does the person actually get a good night's rest?
That's funny. That's funny. I don't believe anyone does at the end. I don't believe anyone does. But it's open to interpretation, though.
So you're allowing your audience to decide.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because I find that this film, being a dark comedy, you've hit the nail. Um, this is, again, one of those films where I'm like, oh, this is so funny, and it's a little scary at the same time. And to hold both those emotions equally and wondering what is going to happen throughout this film, even though you say you don't want your audience to have a way of already saying, I know what this film is going to end up to be. I find myself, when I saw this film, of being curious as to how is this going to end?
Right.
Because of the situation you've placed them in, is that you don't know throughout the entire film. And I'm wondering, how did you manage that to happen exactly, where there is this question in mind, like, how can this actually end?
Right. Okay. So my whole thing is it's just to set things up where things appear normal. I mean, they are normal, but you're looking at it through the lens of, all right, this is some typical, a couple just watching TV, or whatever the case may be. And then when I set up I'm not going to ruin it, but I kind of did already a little bit, but when you set it up and you're going into the room, then you see, what happens from that point on. But I just don't want it to be like, oh, okay, I know what's going to happen next. I know what's going to happen next. I want to set every time. It's just like, oh, this is new. Oh, this is something else. Oh, this is another twist. And that's how I wanted to set it up.
So multiple twists.
Yes.
Be helpful.
It's imperative.
Okay. Well, I know we actually have to break for a commercial, but when we come back, we're actually going to have the time to be able to see a different film that you've also created, which is a really important story. So hang in with us and we'll be right back.
I do love what I do for a living. I never dreamed that having this career was possible until I came to UDC. I met a professor when I decided to finish up my degree program. She told me, hey, why don't you go and intern on Capitol Hill? The internship led to being a staffer. I would have never been opened up to that opportunity if that professor would have never urged me and said, I see something in you. My UDC experience changed my life. UDC helped me find my possible.
Find your possible. Visit udc.edu/possible to learn more.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we have the privilege to be able to speak with Abdual Sesay, who actually has written two wonderful, wonderful films, A Good Night's Rest and It Could Be You. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Catherine. Glad to be here.
No problem. So here we are. We have a little bit of an opportunity to allow the audience to see the second clip. It Could Be You. We'll be back in one moment.
Sorry, man.
It's okay. You didn't know who I was, man.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have came at you like that. If I would have known,
That's the problem. You wouldn't have known unless you took time to ask. Brandon has a family and everything. But he and his wife both decided that after his last episode, he needs to seek help for his PTSD. I could have hurt my family. I knew I couldn't stick around unless I wanted them to be safe, so I left. I was never like this. Scott, you know I was never like this. It was that last tour, man.
So this is a very different type of film, Abdul. We were just talking about A Good Night's Rest is a dark comedy, and this does not feel the same. So can you tell us a little bit about It Could Be You?
Yeah, so it could be used about two brothers that encounter a homeless man. So the youngest of the two shows disdain for the homeless until a story is shared that changes their lives forever.
Mm. And this film again feels very different, and it actually has a very important message as well. And is this personal at all? Do you feel like, that you felt it was necessary to be able to offer the public some sort of a different, again, lens of being able to see homeless individuals through?
Yes, it's very personal to me. Not because I have anyone in my family or anything that's homeless, but years ago, I had a group of co-workers. We used to once a month go to DC, Washington, DC, and feed the homeless. Not only feed the homeless, but also provide toiletries and things of that sort. And we did that for probably like about a year and a half or so, right? Once a month we did that. And there's a park in DC. There's parks like McPherson Square and things of that sort. But we would reach out to the homeless and talk to people and the thing about it is like you have to put yourself in a position where you're like, okay, these are people, and you need to understand that everyone has their own reason behind why they're misplaced or don't have a place to live at this point in time. At that point in time, so it's near and dear to me because I've had a lot of people that I've met that are really great people and just need just a leg up or a hand up or be pulled up, and so that's why it's near and dear to me. But also another thing for me is because it touches on mental health as well as of course the cliche is don't judge a book by its cover, and then finally it touches on just the veterans, our veterans that are here to serve and protect us, and some of them are homeless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree that it does touch upon all of those different variables. And, again, coming from A Good Night's Rest and your ability to create this dark comedy that can have individuals hold many different feelings, this film seems to hold very firm feelings of compassion, of being empathetic, and even being able to understand how we can be callous as individuals living in a city, maybe passing individuals who are homeless, and how we may feel desensitized from that and not necessarily able to access compassion, access our empathy. And I'm wondering if you're hopeful that this film can soften people to become more compassionate, soften them to become more empathetic, maybe again, and return to that place.
Yes, so that's great. That's a great question, and yes, and that is exactly what we are working on accomplishing with this. Because my thing is, okay, yes, you can feed somebody, you can provide clothing, whatever the case may be, but what else can I do as a filmmaker, right? So my thing is, all right, well, it's like a ripple effect, right? You throw a rock in a pond, the ripples, and so then from there, so what I do is I'm going to put out this project that touches on this, and then who will it inspire to help motivate people to do other things to help other people that are that are unfortunate at this point in time. So that's the whole purpose of this film, to spread awareness, to make sure that everyone is cognizant of that person that you're walking past towards the office building or whatever the case may be, or the corner store or the grocery store, whatever the case may be, that to look at that person and say, what more can I do to help?
Abdul, it's really exciting to hear your awareness of also, of course, what the film is portraying, and that you're saying that this person could watch it and hear about mental health. They can learn about veterans. They can think about homelessness and be able to become more compassionate. But more exciting to hear is your awareness of how powerful film is, and that you can personally do something like feed the homeless, and that helps that one person. But you as a filmmaker have this platform to be able to then show people all of these variables and hopefully then inspire more people. And so your one person interaction can turn into hundreds or thousands of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely about, it's just like you said, it's about using this platform to reach out to as many people as possible. The more eyes that are on this project, the more people, the more the positive, the bigger the impact can have, a positive impact can have for the masses. I mean, there's there's thousands and thousands of people that are displaced, and it's just about really helping people out and really getting down to the core of the issue.
That is a wonderful way of using your talents, is to be able to help the public. We don't ever really get into on this show what that is, but there's an actual psychological term that comes with that, and it's called sublimation.
Okay.
And really quickly, what that means is that someone uses their experiences, like you feeding the homeless, for an example, using that as a way to then be able to show people, other people, what could be possible. And they do it through art, whether it's singing or through dance, and you through filmmaking, is to be able to share this with the public of, this is what happens out in the world, and this is how you too are involved in that. And this was my experience with whatever, how I'm engaged with it, and here it is that you can do something about it. And you've created that for people. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate that.
So what are your hopes when it comes to these two films? I mean, again, they're so different. So what do you hope happens with A Good Night's Rest? What do you hope happens with It Could Be You?
Okay, for A Good Night's Rest, for me, it's just about, I believe that anytime you make a film, it's a snapshot in time, right? So where you are as far as your writing, your creativity, things of that sort. So for A Good Night's Rest, I just want people to see where I started from, and just to get enjoyment out of what I created in that space and that slot in time, right? And then in terms of It Could Be You, it's the same thing. It's a snapshot in time of where I was when I actually created that. But also, again, it's about creating, awareness for homeless, for people that are homeless. I believe that these two projects, even though they're very different, I want to show people that have a versatility, that have a range of different topics and subject matter that I can touch upon. But not only, I just want to make sure that it's not only that, but it's also that it shows that I have different types of ways of looking at things. And even though there might be normal day-to-day situations, it's just different ways of looking at it.
Yeah. Well, I would say you have certainly succeeded in that capacity, showing your range. I mean, again, because they're so different, it almost feels like a different filmmaker created this other film because of just the different genres of them. And you were able to accurately capture very well, again, the humor that comes with being married and a partner behaving in a way that one would prefer they did not. And then you were able to also capture the sensitivities that come with being humane and being a human on this earth, and how, ideally we want to be able to treat and care about one another and take care of each other. It seems like your heart truly was in both of them, and again, in different ways.
Yes, absolutely. You nailed it. You nailed it.
So any new projects on the horizon?
Yes. So I have, I have one project that I'm working on. It's called The Pushover. It's a feature, and it's about a gentleman who recently got out of a relationship. He's in the dumps. He's in the pits right now, and his friends hold an intervention because they want to talk to him about him not getting walked over by a woman, by women in general, right? So it's called The Pushover because he's a pushover. So that's what it's about. And then in terms of another project I'm working on, it's called Blindsided. And Blindsided is a story that's actually created by Candace Sherrill. So this is what happened. I had a Facebook group. I posted on Facebook, and I was looking for writers to collaborate with. So I went through a process of filtering out all the people who were interested in collaborating and not only writing, but then going into production and shooting whatever it may be. It could have been sketches, it could have been short films, or it could have been a series. So what happened was I interviewed a bunch of people. I got them on the phone through the Facebook app, and then I spoke to them, and then I just went through a filtering process to just make sure the synergy was right. And then from there, we came up with about probably like 8 members or so. Then it dwindled down, and then we finally got it to 4 people. So anyway, we have the concept. It's Blindsided, and it's about a woman. It's about a woman that is catfish, and basically she's getting revenge. Okay, a woman's getting catfished, and her husband, because she sees her husband online. So basically, it's one of those things where she's going to, I guess, exact revenge or whatever the case may be. It's weird, but it's really good. It's a really good film, and it's a lot of different layers to it and things of that sort.
And I just want to say, for the public, I'm sure you probably know what catfish means, but it's a term. Certainly look it up about how individuals are online and they think they're dating one person and then they're not really. So here you are for a little backdrop on that that term.
Yes, and then and it's so we formed a group. I'm sorry, I forgot to cut this out, but we formed a group called the Collective Writers Group. So it's Candace Sherrill, it's Naka Jenkins, and it's Brittany Raquel. And then so 3 women to 1 guy, but so I kind of balanced it out and give it some of a male perspective in the writing. But we have 6 episodes already that are already written. They're finished. We started actually last year, January, and then we've already finished the pilot for it, and we shot like a sizzle reel over this past weekend. Yes.
So you have been busy.
We're trying our best.
I know we're out of time, Abdul. Well, I hope to be able to bring you back for a different project, because it sounds like you do have some in the pipeline. So I'd love to talk to you about those too.
That would be wonderful, Catherine. I really appreciate you having me here. I really do.
Oh, thank you again. Thank you. We will see you next time on Best Psychology in Film. If you'd like to get in contact with Abdul, please find his information right here. As well as if you'd like to get in contact with me, please follow me on Instagram at PsychMinded Media. We'll see you next time on Best Psychology in Film.